Unpopular vote, Hillary did not run a bad campaign. Now, I know that this is not popular because people have to believe that Hillary Clinton, she made so many mistakes. Well, what mistake? She didn't campaign in Michigan enough. She, got sick and didn't tell people she had the flu. She said basket of deplorables for a lot of fucking people that were not going to vote for her anyway. And most importantly, she didn't go before Bernie Sanders, beg his forgiveness, get on hands and knees, suck his cock, and quit the race and let him become the nominee. That was what killed Hillary. There's all these opinions about what she did wrong. All of them are kind of different, by the way. There's different things. People said she should have been more liberal, that she should have been more conservative, she should have done this, she should have done that. But the bottom line is her campaign wasn't bad. You had to really want to vote for Trump. And that's what people are not getting. They want to think that Hillary ran a bad race. They need to believe it. Because then it's like, well, it's not just that America voted for a guy like Trump that could be a Russian spy and is almost certainly a racist and a xenophobe. And, what does that say about us if we elect a guy like that who's completely incompetent and has no experience, who is pretty much a sociopath that doesn't care about poor people? I mean, that's not us. It's because Hillary ran such a shitty campaign. That has to be it. People want to believe that. They need to believe that because they don't want to believe the truth, which is that the minute that Trump said, I can protect this country from becoming a minority majority country, I can stop that, his voters would take a bullet from him. Trump could have joined fucking ISIS at that point and it wouldn't make any difference because his voters, when he said that he could kill somebody and people would still vote for him, it's because of that. The white working class or white people or rural people or even white people in the suburbs, because that's a lot of Trump's support, whether we want to admit that or not, have heard for about 30, 35 years that Latinos are going to replace them. The Hispanics and the Mexicans, they're going to take over America, and it's all immigration and there's nothing we can do about it, and white people are dying from opioids and not having any kids. We're dying out and they're breeding like jackrabbits, and if only there was somebody that could stop it. And a lot of people were thinking, maybe Trump's that guy. And if they build that wall or they ban people from coming into America or they severely slow down immigration, maybe we got a shot. The Democratic strategy has been to put all their eggs in the deplorables basket and to say anybody who doesn't want this is a racist or a xenophobe. And basically be like, well, the Latino majority, when that comes in, all these old dinosaurs are going to go to the tar pits. Be like, wait a minute, tar pits? Where am I going? They've told white people that they're over. Be like, go watch your NASCAR and eat your chips and be irrelevant. You're over. And a lot of people felt like, well, we don't really like that idea. We don't want that. Now, I don't believe that. If you look at America, you see that black people and Hispanic people, they have a lot of hurdles. They don't get hired as much as people do. They don't get promoted as much. They can't get into colleges at the same rate. They can't get into a private school at the same rate. They can't, all these different housing and education and job roadblocks that they have to face on a near daily basis. It's not necessarily the country that we've been projecting it to be in terms of the coming Latino wave that's going to correct everything. That's still 50 years away, but people, they don't feel that way if that are Republican voters or even moderate voters or independent voters. They said Trump got a group called the Reagan Democrats, which used to consistently vote Democrat from FDR to LBJ because Democrats used to consistently be about money issues or things like that. They left the party when LBJ passed the Civil Rights Bill. Well, a Reagan Democrat is just a Democrat that doesn't like black people. Used to be. Now it's a Democrat or moderate Republican that doesn't like Hispanic or black people. And that was Trump's base. That's who Hillary had to go against. And it turned out that was a big part of the country, whether we want to admit that or not. So no, I don't believe Hillary having one more rally in Michigan or surrendering to Bernie. Bernie Sanders would have got beat too, by the way, because he didn't win Virginia or Ohio or Florida or Pennsylvania in the primaries. He got killed in those states. He would have got killed in those states in a general election, so he wouldn't have won either. But I don't believe that it was necessarily that she ran a bad campaign. I think it was that Russia hacked the voting machines, which a lot of people don't believe. I definitely believe that they spread a bunch of propaganda on Facebook. Supposedly that reached over 100 million people. We're talking about less than 70,000 votes that made the difference in those 3 states. Of course, that made a difference. If only 1% of America was influenced by that to switch from Hillary to Trump, then that made a difference. We're talking about Julian Assange being Russia's puppet and releasing a coordinated, leak campaign that was not really about transparency. It was about hurting her campaign. Between Assange and Vladimir Putin and Trump and James Comey releasing a lot of stuff about Hillary, even though he didn't say a word about Trump's collusion with Russia, which the FBI did know about, the CIA knew about it, and we're talking about it. The FBI refused to talk about it. So between Comey and Assange and Vladimir Putin and the fact that Bernie Sanders, even after he lost the March 15th primaries, like Ohio and Florida, he refused to quit the race, even though he had no shot to the path and stayed in there until June. There was a lot going against Hillary. Not to mention the fact that no Democrat, the last two times we had back-to-back Democratic presidents, it was because the first one died in office. FDR and JFK, they died in office. That's how LBJ and Harry Truman came to power. And before FDR and Harry Truman, to find a case where we had 12 years of Democrats, you got to go all the way back to Jackson and Van Buren, 200 years ago. The odds are not really in her favor, guys.